All right, Rick Smiley Morning Show. It is about that time. Jeff Johnson got 3 things you need to know. What up, Jeff?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good to be with you. Man,
Happy to have you, bro.
Say that again?
I said happy to have you, bro, always.
Oh, man, thank you. So, listen, I'm super interested, Rick, in what Special K thinks about this, because in advance of next week's Milwaukee Republican candidate debate, which I almost can't believe we're already in debate season is already starting. You know who I think has the most momentum going into this debate is actually Tim Scott. There is a lot showing that there are people, especially in Iowa, that are warming to Tim Scott, the African-American senator, who is obviously a Republican, showed in a New York Times Senior College poll to be number 3 behind DeSantis above the other contenders. And also in Iowa, we saw a 10-point lower approval rating for Trump than we are seeing in the rest of the country. And so I know we talked about this a couple of months ago, Kay, but what are your thoughts on Tim Scott's chances?
I think that he's the best of the worst, if there's such a thing. Because I see no redeeming qualities in any of the platforms that the GOP is pushing. So,
Yep.
But of all of those worst candidates, he may be the most palatable one to independents. And I think that's what makes the difference.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, one, he's raising a hell of a lot of money. I mean, as of June 30th, he's got more money raised than any other candidate except Trump. I think it's $21 million, and has already been endorsed by the second highest senator in the Senate, Thune. And so, but what I think is interesting, man, I do think he's going to appeal to some moderate, some independents, and some moderate Democrats.
Because he's not insane.
He's not.
And he's not extreme.
I think he's a classic old school conservative. And if we're honest, there's a lot of black folks who are classic old school conservatives, whether they claim the GOP or not. And I think people better watch out for Tim Scott. I think that he is coming. And listen, I do not agree.
Man, they ain't finna vote for that man. That man look like Bushwick Bill in the face from Ghetto Boys.
This
Go
year
ahead, Joe.
Halloween fell on the weekend.
There you go.
Me and Ghetto Boys trick or treating.
But it would literally be crazy to see an African American candidate with a legitimate chance to win a nomination on the Republican side. And I think that there are a lot of folks that are tired. There's fatigue showing on the Trump side, especially with these last indictments. And did you all see that they started to release, they're circulating the names and even addresses of the grand jury that indicted Trump?
What?
Well, they said that's part of Georgia state law that that information has to be public record.
Yeah,
so
bro.
So now all these people about to get attacked and get death threats and all this.
They're already getting death threats.
Yeah, they already are. They already are. And you know, with their home addresses being released, death threats may be one thing, but they may be getting visits because the way Trump rallies his folks is not unaggressive. So it's I just don't know about. I think that law is ridiculous. I think that you put people in harm's way, whether you're talking about Trump or you're talking about somebody else. But obviously, I'm not a legislator in Georgia,
Right.
so I can't make that call or that change. That is the law, and so it's within the law. But like so many of the laws we see, it's a bad one.
And nobody could foresee a situation like this happening either. This is absolutely unprecedented. So.
But you think about it too, man. Why would you want the addresses of grand jury members to be public for anybody? If it's a big drug case, if it's a large criminal case, I mean, you just put people in danger.
Because Georgia's been a red state, and red states are led by Republicans who push stupid policy. Let's just break it down for what it is. They push dumb policy.
And we're honest, Ken, we got a lot of stupid policy on the books. All over the place. One day we should just do the stupidest laws that are still on the books. And it's not just about Republicans. This is about antiquated lawmaking with with legislators who didn't really love people, but they just loved power. So that's a whole nother three things.